learning. And I'm going to pass the mic now to one of our Poet Mentor educators. So clap it up for Jenny.
I was born ready. Some of y'all can't handle the truth, it's too heavy. No such thing as small minds, just trapped minds, mentally enslaved. Got your higher conscience in a cage. These are words of a sage, a star on the stage. Some say too wise for my age, I'm just aware of my place. I'm unexpected. Brains and beauty is not what you expected. I just spit truth and hope that you're respected. Ignorance spreads and many are infected. Finding new life through a higher way, hope we not inspire you. Freedom is not what you've been told. Please free your mind and your soul. A higher conscience makes us whole. You've been poisoned by technology. All these cable satellites interfering with signals from the galaxy. My mind travels to the cosmos, cause staying ignorant costs more. I'm aware even when I sleep. My third eye is open while the other two are closed. Self-enlightened like DMT exposed. If it involves self-awareness, the government may oppose. They want to be the only ones in control. They watch and they control. You may not see them, but they keep us very close. In a jail cell and call it a case closed. They raised us to hate us. No knowledge of self because knowledge of self is power. But my intelligence is lavish. Become a double threat when I start speaking Spanish. No quieren ver fotos, pero nueva vida llega. Se acaba la injusticia, se acaba la vida sucia. Almas inocentes y el gobierno inconsciente. El dinero y el poder es lo único en la mente. Creer en tú mismo es creer en Dios mismo. If you believe in yourself, then you believe in a God. Fear doesn't exist, a God is living in fear.
As you guys all heard, my name is Jennifer, and I come from Sacramento area Youth Speaks in Sacramento. So before I kind of get more into like the poetry aspect, I kind of want to share with you guys my journey as an English learner student, because I struggled a lot when I was all through elementary school and still in middle school, and I kind of struggle till this day. So me and my family moved to Sacramento when I was only 5 years old, and although I was only 5, that's 5 years of learning just Spanish, and I had no idea how to speak English. So when we came here, I was in kindergarten, I was struggling, and all throughout elementary school, you know, I was in ESL classes, and I would get pulled out so I could have these tests and stuff like that, but I just felt something was missing, and I didn't really know what it was. So I struggled a lot, and I felt that I couldn't really express myself in English. I would get made fun of in elementary school, which was really hard. Sometimes I used to cry because I thought, well, when am I going to speak correctly? And I'll give you guys an example. I didn't know how to say someone got ran over, and I remember, and it's funny now, but later, before, it was just so hard for me to grasp that I couldn't say it, and I was trying to explain to my friends that I saw that a cat got run over, and what I said was, and I couldn't come up with the words, and I said, the cat, it got stepped on with the car, and they started laughing at me. And I remember that day so clearly, because I remember I was so embarrassed, and I got so red, and I felt like a failure because I felt that I'm already in sixth grade, and I felt, and I still can't, you know, put these words together, and I felt, you know, really ashamed of myself because I thought it was my fault that I couldn't come up with these words and I couldn't express myself right. And so I went through high school, and although I would do good in English class, which is crazy, but I felt that when it came to actually speaking with people, I couldn't find the words. You know, in class and the testing and stuff, didn't know how to really express myself more. And so along came high school, and I was struggling a little bit, but I was still more, I felt like I was more confident. I was even in like the higher English classes, which is an accomplishment for me. But the only thing that I really struggled with is when I would go back home to Mexico, I found myself that now I knew more English than Spanish. So then when I would go back home, I felt like I wasn't home because they would correct me all the time, like, oh, that's not how you say it. Or I would be like, like struggling so much to how to speak in Spanish. And it sucked because I felt that I came here and I wanted to learn English so bad, but then when I would go home, now I lost that Spanish. So in high school, I was still struggling. I wasn't really into school much. And before my senior year, I got kicked out of high school, and which is crazy. What we said, I got kicked out of that high school, and now through SES, which is gave me a creative process to express myself more, I was able to go back into that school and work, and it was crazy because they had kicked me out, but at the same time, they were asking for me, and oh, we want Jenny to come back, we want Jenny to come back. And so what SES really did for me, and I was like, yeah, I know, I'm here, I came back. You didn't believe in me, but I'm back. So what really amazed me about SES is that it gave me a platform for me to express myself. Like I said, I felt like I couldn't express myself. I felt like I couldn't find the right words. But with poetry, what it did is that I was able to find the words, finally, to be able to express myself and to be able to tell my story and tell my truth. And all of that went along with like wanting me to read more. So my vocabulary could be like amazingly huge, and I could find all these words to put into poetry. And ultimately, spitting poetry and performing here and there, because SES gave me so many opportunities to spit everywhere, that it gave me, it made me grow as a person, as a student, and as a speaker as well, because like I said, back then I was so shy to even speak in front of a classroom because I felt like the words weren't going to come out. Like I just wasn't going to be able to speak and be able to let people know how I was feeling and really express myself successfully. So through poetry, I felt like it really helped me because as you can see in my piece, I also included Spanish. So poetry has really helped me to even better my Spanish because I started writing poems because I started thinking, well, I'm writing all these poems in English, but I want my people to understand it too. So I started writing my poems in English and Spanish. And it was cool because when I would go into these high schools and I would spit in Spanish, I would see like a group of kids in the corner or something that would get so excited, and I knew it's because I knew what it was like to be that student, and so it felt so awesome to be able to go back into that classroom and to connect with someone just by me spitting a piece in Spanish, and for them to be like, oh, like I feel you, I know what you've been through. And we had a workshop actually in Stockton, and there was one student that didn't speak Spanish, that didn't speak English, and he only spoke Spanish, and it was cool because I was able to walk him through that poem and be like, okay, this is what we're asking you to write. And it was cool because I was there and I knew what he felt like, and it was cool to make that connection. It was just amazing to feel that way. So that's why I feel like SES does so much, not just in bringing the truth out of us and the youth and letting us express ourselves because we don't do it often, but also like we said, what we are here for, which is like ESL, because it's so important. Like I said, many times it feels horrible to come to a country and not know the language and feel like you're just stuck and there's no way that you can communicate with people. So to be able to communicate with people through poetry and through spoken word has been amazing for me, and it has really made me grow as a mentor even, because it's provided me so many opportunities. If it wasn't for poetry and Dr. Roger Watson, I probably wouldn't be here, because if I hadn't written my first piece, I don't know where would I be right now. And so thank you guys so much. That's my story, and I hope see you guys later at the writing workshop. Thank you. A little bit louder for Jenny.